I deeply regret throwing away my marriage and divorcing my husband. I, 30F, divorced my husband, 34M, around 3 years ago. We had been together since high school, and we married shortly after I graduated from college. He had already been working at a public sector bank for a year, and I had a job lined up, so I joined the workforce soon after our honeymoon. Work life and marriage life were not what I expected. With both of us working full-time, we had little time together during the week. I had Saturdays and Sundays off, but my husband had to work on Saturdays as well. 2 years into our marriage, I began resenting him for never being available. For some inexplicable reason, I felt like he had lost his attraction towards me now that we were married, even though he spent every bit of his free time taking care of my needs. I grew cold towards him, not reciprocating his affection. I made excuses to avoid date nights, fabricated work pressure when he tried to arrange vacations, feigned tiredness to avoid sex, and even found reasons not to visit his parents, who had always treated me like their own daughter. I felt like I was wasting my youth in our marriage. Clearly, our marriage wasn't working well. My husband suggested therapy multiple times and encouraged me to open up about any hurt he might have caused. But I dismissed his concerns, insisting I was fine. I had completely checked out of the marriage. I can still recall the hurt in his eyes when I asked for a divorce. Despite his attempts to change my mind, I filed for divorce against the wishes of both our families. I didn't ask for anything in the divorce aside from my share of our marital house. It sold quickly, and he let me have 60% of the value, even though I had only wanted half. Our divorce was amicable, as he understood I wouldn't change my mind. After the divorce, I initially felt free, but the novelty of my newfound freedom soon faded. All my life, I had experienced the love and company of my parents and then my husband, but now I was utterly alone. My parents, who adored my husband, were devastated by the divorce and severed all contact with me. My ex-husband's parents tried reaching out, but I never responded. Even then, I hadn't come to my senses, thinking things would improve. I requested a transfer to a different state for a change of scenery, and my company agreed to send me to a location with a manpower shortage. I started dating for the first time in my life, but I lacked experience. Countless men tried to take advantage of me, but fortunately, I had some self-respect and didn't want to sleep around immediately. I soon realized that these men were only interested in sex, and as I didn't give them what they wanted, they ghosted me. I eventually gave in and started having sex on the first date, but it was terrible. Not even remotely close to the sex I had with my ex-husband. Despite engaging in casual sex, it became clear that these men were solely interested in physical intimacy and had no interest in a romantic relationship. I stopped going out altogether because it became so disheartening. It's been over a year and a half since I've gone on a date or even shared a meal with someone else. My daily routine consists of going to the office, working, returning home, grabbing dinner, and sleeping. The weekends are the hardest as they remind me how lonely I am and what a colossal mistake I made throwing away a stable life. I have somewhat reconnected with my mother. My father claims he lost his daughter when I signed the divorce papers. She recently informed me that my ex-husband is now engaged to his girlfriend of 1 year. As it turns out, my ex-husband was involved in a severe car accident and was hospitalized for nearly 3 months. During his time there, he was placed under the care of his fiancée, who was in her final year of clinical internship. When my mother shared the news with me, she was particularly spiteful. She said something along the lines of, "I hope you're happy now that he's realized his mistake of marrying someone like you and is finally moving on with his life." At this point, I don't even have any tears left to cry. I'm all cried out after almost a full year of crying myself to sleep every night. Given what I have done, I don't even have the courage to reach out to him, congratulate him on his engagement, or even ask for forgiveness. All I feel now is constant headaches and dull pain throughout my body. It's unbelievable how I managed to destroy a life that many people would kill to have. The only thing I'm proud of is not trapping my ex-husband with a child. A person like me deserves to die alone.